Good afternoon and welcome to ExploreGPT. My name is Kevin and I normally visit different destinations every week and let AI plan my entire day. But today I'm going to answer your questions and we're doing a Q&A video. So first of all, thank you so much to everyone who sent in a question for me to answer this week. I got a bunch of replies and I'm going to do my best to answer as many of them as I can for you in today's video. So without further ado, here's the first question. The first question comes from Jamie Lee 6052 and he asks, few questions for your Q&A. What's been your favorite city that you have explored so far? Also, what would be your dream destination to explore in the world? So really good questions. I think my favorite city that I've explored so far, I probably have to say it was York. I think York was so different to every other city that I visited on this little travel series. Been surrounded by the castle walls and everything, and each of the other city centres were just, you know, your typical like big buildings and stadiums and things like that. But York had a completely different feel with the like castle vibes and the architecture around it. And yeah, I just thought York was such a beautiful city just to be in as well, and the vibes were really good. So I would definitely have to say York. Dream destination to explore in the world, I'll give you two. I would say the first one is Machu Picchu in Peru. That's been on my top of my bucket list for years and years now. And also Antarctica, because I want to see the penguins. Next question comes from user CR8XF3JM7Q. And they ask, hey Kevin, loving the videos and of course this one because it's Dublin. What has been your favourite itinerary so far that AI has suggested? How long would it take for you to plan everything, then shoot and edit the videos? So again, really good questions. I think my favorite itinerary so far, I might be a bit biased and I might actually say it was the Liverpool one, the very first one that I did. One, because it was my hometown. It was the first time I was ever doing this sort of like experiment as well, because I'd never filmed any other videos. And I just think it was so cool taking me to like the Cavern Club at the end of the night, taking me to the top of the cathedral as well. It was just like a really, really good overall experience just to see Liverpool in one day. So yeah, it might be a little bit of a biased answer, but that was probably my favorite itinerary. Also, how long would it take you to plan everything, then shoot and edit videos? That's a really good question. And it does actually depend on the destination I'm going to as well. So I will admit the first 6 videos that I did were a lot easier to do because they were quite close proximity to where I live, which is in Liverpool. The latest 6 videos were a little bit further away, so they required a bit more planning because I actually had to stay in overnight accommodation in those places because they were actually really far away. So I wasn't able to travel there, film all day and travel back on the same day. So I had to go the day before. So they actually took an extra day to shoot. Planning wise is really simple. It was a simple prompt in ChatGPT, so it actually took me 5 minutes to plan the day. And editing as well. So I try and keep to a 3-day maximum for editing for each video. Now it does depend because some videos are a lot longer and some are a lot shorter. When I say 3 days, I'm not like sat at a computer from 9 to 5 editing like 8 hours a day. I do take a lot of breaks and I would only probably maybe maximum do about 4 hours of editing a day. In all honesty, I could really edit it in one day if I really, really wanted to. But because, you know, I choose my own working hours now, so I can edit as long or as little as I want. But give or take on average, it's about 3 days per video. Okay, so next question comes from Claire Williams 9870. And Claire asks, hey Kevin, if AI could design your perfect trip, what would it look like? Oof, now that is a really good question. I'd have to say definitely start off with breakfast. I definitely need some food in me before I start. So a really nice breakfast to start the day. I would also start the day in a park as well, or somewhere that's surrounded by nature, because I love waking up to nature. I think that's one of the best ways to start your day. Lunch, I would love a good food market, again, because there's so much choice and variety and there'll be something for everyone to pick. And there's always like a really good vibe when you're in a food market as well, because you can get loads of picky bits and everyone seems to be having a good time. You can get loads of drinks as well. It's such a fun place to be. I love a good like rooftop bar as well, so any like rooftop vibes as well. In the afternoon, I'd like a good activity actually. I think if we could plan something adventurous like go-karting or something really fast, that would probably be really, really fun. Hasn't actually planned anything like that for me yet, but that would be really, really cool. Or something like, I don't know, like zip lining or something. Like, I'm such a big thrill seeker, so I love just to feel that adrenaline pumping through you, but anything like that would be super cool to do. And dinner, it would end in either like a steak restaurant or a sushi place. I think those are two of my favorite foods. So definitely can't go wrong with any of them. But yeah, great question. Next question comes from Matthew Penswick, B3D. And Matthew asks, which city had the best food? Now, this is really easy for me to answer, and it is Newcastle, because that Hainanese chicken rice at the very end was, without a doubt, my favorite meal of the entire series. Amazing. Absolutely love it. Highly recommend if you're in Newcastle. I believe they only do serve it on Tuesdays and Wednesdays though, which is very strange. But yeah, it was honestly the highest rated food of the entire series. So Newcastle has the best food. Next question comes from Saskia Miller, K1B. And Saskia asks, hi Kevin, your UK series has been super fun. Can't wait to see what you and your AI bestie plan next. Traveling is a great way to experience lots of different adventures. As a creator, how do you balance experiencing the moment with capturing content? You've ticked off a fair few of the big cities the UK has to offer in this series. Which one has surprised you the most and why? So, two really good questions there. I think, luckily, I actually enjoy what I do. So when I am creating content, I am actually also experiencing and enjoying the moment at the same time. But there are also times when I'm not actually filming on camera where I can actually enjoy the moment. But yeah, I feel like the more and more that I've started to make these videos, the more having the camera there just sort of feels like second nature. So it doesn't really feel as awkward as it did in the very early stages. So I'm still getting used to it. Don't get me wrong. It is sort of a very niche, weird thing to do in public. Like if you go out in public and hold a camera, people will stare at you. But the more and more you do something and be consistent with it, it just sort of feels like second nature then. So yeah, luckily I've been able to enjoy all the content that I've been shooting as well. Which city has surprised me the most and why? That's a really good question. Honestly, I'd probably have to say Sheffield actually. I think Sheffield was one of those cities which really exceeded my expectations. It's a city I've never actually been to before, so I didn't really know what to expect, but the people were really nice. It had a really friendly vibe around. Food was great there as well. And overall, yeah, it was just a really good city and a really nice drive down as well. So if you're ever driving down from either Liverpool or Manchester to Sheffield, you'll definitely pass a road called Snake Pass or Snake Way, and it's a really scenic route. So I would definitely say Sheffield has surprised me the most. The next question comes from Luke Taylor, 1962. Luke asks, hi Kev, really good series so far. Two questions for you. What inspired you to start ExploreGPT? And when will we see you in the Misfits lineup? So in all honesty, I've always had a huge passion for traveling, and previously I actually used to work on board cruise ships, which got me traveling around the world. But I just missed that aspect of traveling, so I wanted to try and find a way I can do it and also potentially monetize it somewhere down the line. Now, back in January of this year, 2025, I actually attended a book signing by a guy called Simon Squibb. I'll put a picture of him on the side here. And he became famous on TikTok and Instagram, just posting these reels, asking people what their dream is in public and sort of helping them and guide them along the way. Now, when I first saw his videos, it did sort of get me thinking, but I was sort of a doubter rather than a believer. However, I actually got to meet him in person when he was doing a live talk at Box Park in Liverpool. So I went down to the talk and it sort of really inspired me to actually go for it and push myself out of my comfort zone to do something I wouldn't have probably done. And I could have just stuck at my job at the time and played it safe. But yeah, he was a really great guy, really inspired me. And I've been watching loads and loads of vloggers on YouTube for years and years as well. So I've got a couple of inspirations on YouTube. My biggest one is probably Simon Wilson. He makes these amazing travel videos, which he's just so good at storytelling, and his content is just so addictive to watch. And I felt like I could do something like that as well. So Simon Wilson is a big inspiration of mine. And also Life of Tom, aka Tom Syndicate. He is a guy who's been on the YouTube game for a while. I think he started off gaming and now he just does daily vlogs. His sort of natural charisma to the camera is just so incredible and contagious, and I feel like I wanted to do that as well. So those are probably my biggest inspirations to start ExploreGPT. When will we see you in the Misfits lineup? I'm not too sure. Ask me again in 5 years' time. The next question comes from Collier17. He asks, hey Kevin, been watching your vids, they're so cool. Question for you, would you ever consider letting your viewers make an AI prompt for you? That could be super interesting. Also, one last question, who is the best football team the world has ever seen? Ooh, and one more, who's your favorite current player? So great questions there. Yes, I think I definitely would let my viewers choose an AI prompt for me. So I am planning a brand new series, which is coming shortly, but what sort of prompts would you like me to see? I am planning on mixing the prompts up from my usual prompt in this series. So if you do have any suggestions, feel free to leave it in the comments below and you might see it in a future video. Who's the best football team the world has ever seen? Well, that's really obvious. It's obviously Liverpool FC, put them right there. And who's your favorite current player? It's obviously Mo Salah, who also won PFA's Players Player of the Year for the 3rd time. Absolutely insane. Next question comes from Mike Evans, 85, and Mike asks, great series, Kev. Couple of questions for you. Have you not explored things that don't come up on ChatGPT? I'm sure there's some real gems that AI has missed. And what's the strangest thing you've come across so far across all of the cities? I once saw a walrus in the middle of a city. That was weird. Yeah, very weird, Mike. So in answer to your first question, yes, I have explored things that ChatGPT hasn't recommended. There are times when the camera's not rolling and I might stroll down a side street or somewhere and be like, oh, that's quite cool. Obviously, what you see in my full day is only a very small snippet of it. So a full filming day for me usually takes about 9 or 10 hours, and then I condense that into about a 20 to 30-minute video. So yeah, by all means, there are so many times where I'm sort of self-exploring as well. So yeah, I do get to explore the city and other things which ChatGPT hasn't recommended for me. The strangest thing I've come across so far across all the cities, in all honesty, it's probably the amount of birds that come up to me in the parks. Every time I go to a park, there seems to be some sort of bird. It'll be a duck or a geese or a swan or a pelican or some kind of bird which will just sort of follow me, or maybe they're drawn to me. I don't know. Like, am I some bird animal whisperer? I don't know, but I would say that's probably the strangest thing that I come across all the cities. Another question from Saskia Miller K1B asks, what was your most memorable travel experience during this UK series? In all honesty, the first experience that came to mind was actually when I held the owl in York. It was such a random thing which came across. It wasn't actually planned by AI and I didn't even know it was there. I sort of walked out the Harry Potter shop and there was an owl just there. So I thought, oh, that's cool. I'm just gonna ask if I can hold it. And yeah, that was quite a fun, memorable experience for me. But yeah, there are many others as well, but I will give that one as my answer. A question by Marla Maid 13 asks, what was your favorite and least favorite suggestion made by ChatGPT? Any surprise suggestions that you'd likely not have considered yourself if not using AI? And where did you come up with the concept of letting AI plan your day? I am pretty new to your channel, but I've thoroughly enjoyed what I've seen so far. I look forward to seeing where your next chapter takes you. So thank you, Marla, for your comments and questions. First one, favorite suggestion made by ChatGPT. There may be some recency bias to this, but it could actually be the Guinness Storehouse in Dublin, because again, that was another one which completely exceeded my expectations and I just absolutely loved the place. I would happily even go back there again and do the tour all over again. Least favorite suggestion made by ChatGPT? Well, there have been a few epic fails. Some of them I haven't actually been able to go to the place because it's closed. One which came to mind actually, probably the Leeds Owl Trail, because I actually didn't find any owls. So partly on my fault, to be fair as well. I was probably in the completely wrong place in Leeds, but that one came first to mind, so I'd say that one. Surprise suggestions that you'd likely not have considered yourself? Probably all of it, to be honest. Yeah, prior to actually going to loads of these places, I didn't do too much research on, like, you know, what there is to do in the city. I purely just went in blindly and just asked AI what to do. So yeah, I would say all of it is a surprise suggestion, in all honesty. And where did you come up with the concept of letting AI plan your day? Great question. So prior to actually starting this journey, I've had a huge fascination with AI. I actually used to work within the tech industry and I was, I guess you could say, sort of an early adopter with AI. I started using it at the back end of December 2022 or early 2023 in January. And even looking back now to like how it was, you know, 2.5, nearly 3 years ago now, and to what it is now, you can see how fast it's actually evolved. And I wanted to one day see, is AI actually good enough to plan a trip to somewhere and you could just follow it blindly? I think the answer to that question at the moment is no, because sometimes it's good at some things and other times it is really stupid at a lot of things as well. But yeah, I just absolutely loved AI and tech, and it was just sort of combining two of my passions together, which was travel and AI. So it sort of made sense, and it also became sort of like a niche project for me because to my knowledge, I don't actually know anybody else who's doing this on YouTube. So if there is, please feel free to let me know in the comments. But yeah, I feel thought it would be such a cool idea just to see if you could just ask AI to plan a day for you and just follow it blindly and see where it takes you. So it's part of the fun as well. You don't really know what you're getting yourself into. It might be good, it might be bad, but that's the experiment at the end of the day. I have a question here from Joseph Ife. Joseph asks, hi, huge congrats on hitting episode 12. Love the Dublin finale. Can't wait to see where ExploreGPT heads next. For the Q&A, what was the toughest AI decision to follow? And did you ever feel tempted to override it? So that's a really great question, Joseph. In all honesty, the toughest AI decision is something you actually haven't seen yet because I haven't released the video. Now, it is coming up in my new series, but without giving away the destination, I'll just say that AI told me to go to a particular restaurant, but I could tell that it was sort of just made for locals in the area as there weren't any English menus on the inside. So I felt a bit awkward because it seemed like they didn't want any tourists there, and I sort of walked in, you know, t-shirt and shorts and a big camera in front of me and speaking English as well, and there weren't any English menus. So yes, I was definitely tempted to override it. However, I didn't. I just sort of went in anyways for the content as well, and also it was sort of allowing me to step out of my comfort zone a little bit as well, which I do find quite exhilarating and fun at the same time. There's a YouTube channel that I've been following for a few years now called Yes Theory, and they have a motto which is seek discomfort, and they're always trying to push people to seek discomfort and step out your comfort zone and just see what happens, and usually magical things will happen. So that's what I did. I just said, you know what, let's just go for it and see what happens. But yeah, I also think on this journey as well, it's definitely built up my confidence and allowed me to do things like that, because even before I filmed the first video, like, I would assume a lot of people would find just eating at a restaurant alone quite awkward. And then adding on top of that, I'm eating alone at a restaurant with a camera in front of me and speaking to a camera. That's also a bit weird because you do get some looks from a lot of people. And then add on top of it, I was in a foreign country with no English people inside, and I was doing all of that combined. So yeah, it was definitely a very uncomfortable experience at first, but in all honesty, at the end of it, I just felt amazing. It was such a cool experience to do, and it was actually really good food as well. So I'm not gonna spoil it and tell you where that place was, but all I'll say is stay tuned and you'll definitely see that video coming out very shortly. So yeah, so that is officially the end of all of the questions. Before I do wrap up the video, I will just sort of give like a overall final thoughts on the UK and Ireland series and what I think about AI in general, and is it any good or not in planning itineraries. So as I mentioned, this whole thing was sort of an experiment to see what AI is capable of, what it can do. Do I think AI is good at planning itineraries in different places? Yes and no. I feel like it's good in a sense where it can give you some inspiration to see what places are in those areas, but it is not so great in terms of locations of those places, because more often than not it might send you back and forth throughout the city. Also, opening times, I found that to be very inconsistent. Sometimes it will send you to a place and it's just closed. And also pricing as well. If it tells you something will cost X amount, more often than not it actually isn't. It's a lot more expensive in real life. I do think there is potential. I feel like because how fast AI is advancing and evolving, it is going to obviously get better. So in a year or two's time, it will probably be so much better and fix all the issues that I've encountered. But yeah, it is also quite fun just to have that element of surprise, because you literally have no idea what you have in store for you. You just ask it to do something and follow it blindly. So there is sort of fun aspect to it as well. Right then, so because I announced last week that the Dublin episode was the last one in the series for the UK and Ireland series, I am pleased to announce that I do have a brand new Europe series starting very shortly, and I'm going to be launching it on Sunday the 14th of September. So I am going to be taking a couple weeks break, but fear not, as I will certainly be back on September 14th for all of your faces. So yeah, I think I am going to end the video there. If you made it all the way to the end of this video, please do me a favor, give it a like, drop a comment down below and hit that subscribe button, as I'll be releasing new videos very shortly on September 14th. Also, I'm actually on the road to 200 subscribers. So at the time of recording, I think I'm on 190 subscribers. So if you haven't already done so, do make sure to hit that subscribe button down below, as it really helps the channel out, and I am hugely grateful for all of you. Thank you so much for watching, and I will see you all very shortly on the next adventure. But until then, sayonara.